The views expressed on the Nova Society are those of the panelists and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Phoenix Research Institute or any institution which any panel member is associated.
I'd like to welcome everyone back to the Nova Society. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon, and I'm here with my panel, your favorite and mine, Dr. Mark Bound and Dr. Scott Gershwer, and I almost forgot both your names.
But I got top billing this time. That's
yes,
twice.
You did.
Wow, I never get top billing.
Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. So today we are going to talk about the appearance of apparently the National Guard is going to be coming to Memphis and to New Orleans, is it? Is that right? Tennessee and New Orleans, and apparently Chicago is going to be later. And you are correct, Scott. I had said something about National Guard coming to Chicago, and you had said to me, no. What I had been thinking about at the time was ICE, that they are ICE is in Chicago, and apparently the National Guard is going to be later. And what I had heard was that the Texas National Guard was going to come to Chicago, but apparently that has been set aside for now. And despite Trump saying that both the Memphis, I forget, one of the governor and one of the mayors apparently is delighted to have the National Guard come, and both have said, no, actually, we really would rather they didn't come, but that has fallen on deaf ears.
I think what you're talking about is that in Louisiana, the governor is thrilled. The mayor of New Orleans, not so much. Governor of Tennessee did invite. The mayor of Memphis, not so much, because the mayors of these cities are Democrats and the governors are Republicans. And this is to make the appearance that, hey, look at me. I'm going to send people into red states, although it ignores the fact you're sending them into blue cities. So I think this is an example of what Scott has made, in numerous times, the example of it's becoming normalized.
Yes. Yeah.
It's looking like this is normal.
Yep. And also to the criticism of, they're only going into blue states. So now we have red states, and they can say, look, it's red states now. And aren't the governors happy? Ignoring the fact that these are blue cities, and I believe the mayors are black. Is that correct? Both mayors?
New Orleans, I know is. It's a black female.
Okay.
I don't know about.
Well, here's the we can look that up, and somebody hopefully
I'm on
is doing that. Yeah. But here's the deal. If for the National Guard to go into another state, you need the permission of the governor of that state to say, yes, I would really welcome your National Guard troops here. And obviously, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has said, yeah, we would like to have the National Guard. I don't know where they're coming from. I haven't really paid all that much attention to this over the last 12 hours or so since they announced that they're going to Memphis and not Chicago. But it makes sense because you have a governor who's compliant and is welcoming, so you don't have a problem whether, excuse me, you guys are slave drivers, whether you've got a mayor who's not happy about it. Obviously they can do what they can do to not cooperate, but it's up to the governor. This is not a mayoral issue. I would expect that we're going to see National Guard troops going to Memphis, getting some, ribs or barbecue or, finger licking good stuff down there, along with the other stuff that Tennessee is very well known for, and having themselves a great time. Probably not going to get paid for it, not going to work every day, not seeing their families, but, an extended vacation in Memphis. And to do what? Exactly. What they did in Washington, D.C., throw mulch down, do some light cleaning. stand around and take pictures of people who wanted selfies with the troops in Washington, D.C. They'll do the same thing in Memphis. And, and Trump gets to say that he's tough on crime, which obviously he is not at all. And, we've discussed this before. What he considers crime is not crime.
Right. And the mayor of Memphis is Paul Young, African-American, 45 years old. And no, he has said he's not happy. He's not happy about this. And I think one of the things that kind of goes with this idea of, sending troops into these cities. And you're right, Scott, it's a decision's really made by the governor. The mayor basically is stuck with it, whether he likes it or whether he doesn't. But there's been a lot of talk about the reason the Second Amendment is there is to stop tyranny of the government. Okay. Now the question is, how are you defining tyranny? What reaches the level of tyranny for some people? Is not sending troops into a city, is that not tyranny? We used to think it was. Just go back to the Revolutionary War. We thought that sending them into New York City, that was tyranny. Send them into Boston, that was tyranny. Charleston, tyranny. Philadelphia, that was tyranny. Now all of a sudden, troops in our cities aren't tyranny anymore. So when everybody defends that Second Amendment and talks about it's to defend against the possibility of our government, showing tyranny, my question is okay, what exactly is the tyranny that you think you're protecting yourself against when you're allowing troops to go into your major cities? Explain to me your justification now. Because obviously that's not tyranny. So what is it? Making you pay your taxes? Is that tyranny? Taking away your gun? Is that tyranny? I mean, you obviously aren't going to use it for what it's intended for. Why do you have it? But that's another conversation. But I would really love to know what some of these people think tyranny is.
Including, by the way, the Secretary of Homeland Security, right? Krista Noem said that it was tyranny if Joe Biden would send National Guard troops to Texas, I think it was. And now she's okay with tyranny, I guess.
Right. I mean, the hypocrisy of it is absolutely amazing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to hit this topic was because, all right, troops in a city. I don't know. Back in the day, that's what we thought tyranny was. And if that's not your definition of tyranny, please, somebody write into me and tell me exactly what is tyranny now. Obviously, the definition has changed a bit. And don't try to tell me, well, it's our troops. Doesn't matter. Oh, guess what? Back before the United States was formed, those British troops were our troops. We were British colonies. They were our troops. So where's your definition of tyranny? What tyranny are you supposedly protecting us from, if that isn't it? And like I said, don't give me the, that was the British troops on American soil. I got news for you. It was British troops on what they considered British soil. And many of the founding fathers considered themselves citizens of Britain. They just didn't like the way that, they were being treated by their home country. But it was troops when General Clinton landed, he was landing in what was fully considered a British colony. And it was British troops. Show me the difference. Show me the difference that we've got here. So.
Well, and it would be the same thing then during the Civil War when the North was going into what was proclaimed the South. From the North's perspective, the country was still a whole country, I would assume.
You can make that argument.
South perspective, it was not. The
Yep.
North was a foreign invader. And what the North was doing was tyranny. And from the North's perspective, they were reclaiming what was already theirs and setting people's minds straight or whatever they believed they were doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So next week we will get back to listener questions. I'm going to find time to be able to go through emails, and we will get to Scott's favorite listener, Shelby. And I think the only reason that Brooklyn wants Shelby on is because I've already told her that Shelby kind of she's got some real comments for Scott, which will be a lot of fun.
No,
It'll
but
be
we
fun.
invited her. We invited Shelby.
And she's going to get her shot. So
I know. I'm assuming that Shelby. I'm assuming you're female. Yeah. Well, I mean, Shelby is. The only Shelbys I've known were female. In any event,
so in love with Shelby, you don't even know if it's a man or a woman.
Well, actually, no, only because I invited Shelby to write in again, and I don't like to then not and then to ignore.
Then let me give you an example from Ken Burns films. Shelby
Foote. Yeah, so that's a dude.
Shelby Foote.
Yeah. So I apologize, Shelby, if you are male. I shouldn't say she.
It's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get pronouns correct. I do want to get pronouns correct. I mean, it's rude to make assumptions. So yeah, we will get to Shelby, and I do really want to do that simply because it's a listener.
Yeah. So you know where they could use some National Guard troops? Apparently, Mississippi. Have you heard about the thing in Mississippi?
Yes, where two men were found hanging from trees. Yes.
In two different cities in Mississippi, young black men have been found hanging from trees.
Yes.
What I learned about from 9/11 was that one plane could be an accident, but two planes is enemy action. And two black guys hanging themselves off of trees in the same state on the same day doesn't sound like an accident to me. Obviously, we're going to have to wait. No, the local police have said that it doesn't appear that there was any kind of physical violence perpetrated on them or any kind of force. This looks like it was self-inflicted. But we've heard that before. There's actually an old kind of sick joke where they fished a body of a black man out of a river, his hands and feet bound together in chains with a cement block, attached to it. And they pulled him out, and the coroner said, worst case of suicide I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And we are talking about Mississippi.
Yes. And I heard about that. And it's
maybe sending some National Guard troops to Mississippi for Tate Reeves to get his act together wouldn't be a bad thing. That's the strangest thing about this National Guard stuff. It's like, there are violent cities to go to. If they go to New Orleans, by the way, I might actually even join up for the National Guard. I would love like a month in New Orleans on somebody else's dime. Oh my God, that would be a freaking great. That is a great assignment. Send me there, man. Deploy me. I'll volunteer right now for the National Guard if I can go and hang out in New Orleans.
That's right. There's somewhere near a beach.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis is good too. I like Memphis. I've been there a couple of times. Yeah. It's a nice place. But I really love New Orleans. That is a fun place to be.
Well, when I saw the horseback riders, the ones in California, I thought, there's something I can do. I can ride and I can take care of horses and stuff like that. I wonder if they need anybody to do that. I'll join. I'll join and take care of some of the horse stuff. I don't know if that's ICE or something like that.
We could get Dr. Bound to join ICE. You never know where you can end up when you're in ICE.
Maybe Milwaukee. Milwaukee, the home of beer. I could be ending up there.
Yeah, you could maybe do that, and I'll find a stable that needs to be run, or horses that need to be ridden.
Mark Bounded we didn't know where he was. We found him in Appleton, Wisconsin, where there's a bar on every block.
There you go. Sounds like my place. I'm liking it. That's on my bucket list now.
Yeah, all right, Brooke. Great. All righty. Well, thank you to everyone for listening to our very short episode. on the Nova Society. Try to end on a little note of levity instead of the incident in Mississippi, which is very, very new. And we will be looking at that more closely. And next week we will be answering listener emails. Please do send in your emails. And Shelby, we are getting to you. Yes, that is forefront in my mind. It has been for the last 2 weeks. So thank you to everyone for spending some time with us again on the Nova Society. Please do subscribe if you are not yet subscribed on the platform of your choice. That is free. And we will see you again next time on the Nova Society.
The Nova Society is a production of Nova Society Media, a division of the Phoenix Research Institute. We'd like to thank our production partners, Buzzsprout, who hosts the Nova Society, Audacity, our editing partners, Apple iTunes, the largest source of podcasts and music on the internet, Spotify, the most popular platform for the Nova Society, and iHeartRadio, your source for all things music and podcasting. The Nova Society is available on all of these and other quality platforms listed in our description. We'd also like to thank all of our listeners. Without your support, the Nova Society would not be possible. If you have a question or comment, we can be reached at nova.society.podcast@gmail.com. So for Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon, Dr. Scott Gershwer, and all of our production partners here at the Nova Society, I'm Dr. Mark Bound. Remember, the true power in society is knowledge. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again next time.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!